Hi, I'm Mike Olander, State Director of AARP North Carolina. Welcome to this special summer edition of AARP's Fraud Watch Minutes. In this extended program, we explore some of the most common frauds and scams you might encounter during these warm summer months. As the temperatures rise, so too do the number of attempts criminals make to steal your hard-earned money and your identity. From travel scams to toll road scams, unscrupulous individuals use certain times of the year or the latest news to try to steal from unsuspecting people. With me today is Steve Hahn, also with AARP North Carolina, and a representative of the North Carolina Senior Consumer Fraud Task Force. Steve?
Thanks, Mike, and thank you for joining us today. Nothing can make you hotter under the collar than being tricked by a scam, and it happens to all of us. No matter how young, old, or educated we are, fraud doesn't discriminate. So today, we'll be sharing tips and advice on how you can protect yourself. But before we get too far in, let's hear from some of the Tar Heel State's top fraud fighters.
Hi, I'm North Carolina Secretary of State Elaine Marshall. I hope you're staying cool this summer and that you never feel hot under the collar due to a fraud or a scam. For the next 25 minutes or so, we'll hear from Fraud Watch volunteers across North Carolina who'll be giving you some important information and advice to help you spot, prevent, and report fraud. When it comes to scams that target people as they age, criminals are relentless. Newly released Federal Trade Commission data shows that American consumers reported losing more than $12.5 billion to fraud in 2024. That's an alarming 25% increase over losses in 2023. This suggests that criminals are outpacing law enforcement efforts as well as consumer awareness of how to protect themselves. So grab a pen and paper and take some good notes as we offer advice and information, including online resources and phone numbers that can help you when you see suspicious activity or if you've been impacted by a scam. Before we meet some other fraud fighters, I'll start with how we protect seniors at the Secretary of State's office. Through our Securities Division, we protect investors across our state. About half of the investment scams that we see involve fraud targeted at senior citizens, and the true numbers may be far worse than that. Studies indicate that for every documented case of a senior being scammed, another 44 cases never get reported at all. So if you see a friend being influenced to make some sort of exotic financial investment that they may not fully understand, please don't be shy. Please be nosy. Ask questions and call us. By calling our Securities Division Investor Hotline, you can find out if the person promoting an investment opportunity is registered to sell securities in North Carolina and if the investment opportunity itself is registered. Both need to be. You can research charities registering with our Charitable Solicitation Licensing Division by going to the Charities section of sosnc.gov. Once you've identified the charity you want to support, always go to their official site to donate, rather than clicking on a link in an unsolicited message. I urge everyone, if you believe you've come across a fake charity, something that's just a total scam to steal money from generous people, call us or visit online to report it. As Secretary of State, I'm also our state chief trademark registrar and protector. Counterfeit prescription drugs are being sold through rogue online pharmacies and are increasing the concern in the fight against fakes. Visit verifybeforeyoubuy.org to see if an online pharmacy is legitimate and allowed to do business in the United States. Why is this important? Because about 97% of them are not. That means there's no way to verify whether the prescription meds they're selling are counterfeit, contain unsafe substances, or contain the right dosage or any dosage of the active ingredient that you need. We also maintain a secure online registry for advanced healthcare directives. When you register your directives, you get a card with a specific file number, password, and QR code that makes it easy for healthcare professionals to quickly pull up your directives when they're needed. I want each of you to share what you're learning in this video with your friends, family, and neighbors, so you all have the tools to stay financially and physically healthy. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jeff Jackson, Attorney General for North Carolina. I want to talk to you for a minute about scams. We're seeing more this year than we saw last year, and last year we had more than the year before. They're on the rise. We want you to be on the lookout, but here's the thing. If you see a scam, or if you know someone who's the victim of a scam, you help everyone by taking just a few minutes and reporting it. The two best ways to report it in North Carolina are through our website, ncdoj.gov, or through the phone, 8775-NO-SCAM. When you report it, you allow us to log it, investigate it, hopefully help people to get their money back, but you also show us when we're seeing clusters of certain types of scams. You let us know when there are a bunch of red flags that are suddenly popping up across the state. That is very helpful. We work with law enforcement every day to help them prioritize their enforcement. The more you report to us, the better job we can do working with them to help show them where they need to focus. So take some time, be sure and make that report, and take care.
Hi, I'm Sandy Pace, President of the North Carolina Association on Aging. As a representative of senior centers and other services across the state, we thank you for joining us. Senior centers are playing an important role in fraud education and prevention. Senior centers across the state provide safe spaces to learn, stay healthy, and have fun. We continue to encourage our members to help senior center visitors learn about fraud and scams that threaten the well-being of older adults. I'll be talking about identity theft later in this program. I would also like to remind you that with the help of NC 211, there is an easy way to connect to the proper reporting agencies if you suspect any wrongdoing. Simply dial 211 and a trained operator will assist you. So I'm sending this back to you, Mike, so we can find out more about what we need to be aware of during these warm weather months.
Cheap tickets to a hot concert, free beach vacation, unbelievably awesome summer job. You know the saying, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Fraudsters use all sorts of tactics to pull off their scams, so don't let them ruin your summer fun. By staying up to date on the latest schemes, you're less likely to get burned by them. AARP can help you stay informed with the AARP Fraud Watch Network and the AARP Veterans Fraud Center, two free resources to provide you with the educational tools you need to spot, avoid, and report fraud. I encourage you to learn more and sign up for the AARP Fraud Watchdog Alerts by visiting the websites on your screen.
We're hearing a lot lately about toll road scams. A lot of us travel the freeways and the toll roads during the summer, so let's find out more about this scam by watching this important message.
Hi, I'm Annette Eubanks. I'm a part of the AARP Fraud Watch Network, and I want to share a very important message with you today. If your phone's been lighting up with messages saying you owe a road toll, you're not alone. Criminals are blasting out fake texts pretending to be from government agencies or toll services. Their goal? To scare or rush you into clicking a link, handing over personal information, or making a payment. Here's what you need to know. Legitimate toll agencies don't collect payment via text message, and they won't threaten you over a missed toll. If you get a message about unpaid tolls, do not respond or click on any links, even if it looks legit. Instead, check your account using the state tolling agency or transponder company's legitimate website or phone number, not information from the message. Remember, be a fraud fighter. If you can spot a scam, you can stop a scam.
Well, you know, another thing that burns me during the summer, Steve, is imposter scams. Let's take a look at this video and learn more about what these are and how you can avoid being tricked.
Hi, I'm James Bradford with AARP's Fraud Watch Network. And today I'd like to talk to you about celebrity imposter scams. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is creating opportunities for scammers to come across more realistic than ever. For years now, criminals have been impersonating celebrities online to steal from fans. But throw AI in the mix, and we really have to be careful these days. Fake celebrity profiles offer fans personal connections, VIP access, or investment opportunities. They sometimes attempt to create a bond through messaging or even a phone call from their rep. Be careful of posting on celebrity social media accounts. That can put a target on your back with scammers. And just remember, any opportunity to personally connect with them is likely a scam. Be a fraud fighter. If you can spot a scam, you can stop a scam.
Here's one for you that you've almost certainly heard of before and that's still happening right now. You get a letter, email, or text message saying you've won a free vacation in a sweepstakes what you may not have even entered. Well, slow down because there's a good chance it's a vacation giveaway scam. Scammers ask you to provide personal details or pay a fee to secure your free vacation, and the only thing you get is duped.
These same scams can also pop up on social media. If you follow your favorite businesses, scammers will use their legitimate giveaways to trick you into sharing financial information. They see where you like and share businesses' posts and tag your friends, and then they contact you as a representative of the business, telling you that you won. They may send you a link or ask for financial information before you claim your prize. If that happens, there won't be a prize. Don't click the links. Instead, contact the businesses directly.
Well, that's great advice, Mike. I know people love to travel and find deals. Just remember the too good to be true test. It applies to a lot of this. Take concerts, for instance. We all love to go see concerts, especially outdoor shows in the summer. But nothing will take the fun out of a show faster than a ticket scam. So let's learn more about this and what to look out for.
Hi, I'm Michelle Lucas. I'm an AARP Fraud Watch volunteer, and I have something important I want to share with you today. Getting tickets to a must-see concert is becoming harder than ever, and with most concert venues switching to digital tickets only, it is easier than ever to produce counterfeit tickets. With many of the top shows selling out instantly, the market for resale tickets is larger than ever. Here are 3 tips to avoid buying a worthless ticket. First, stick to known ticket sale sites or visit the National Association of Ticket Brokers to ensure that you are dealing with a verified reseller. Second, beware of offers on social media and online marketplaces where this scam flourishes. Third, never pay with a peer-to-peer payment app such as Venmo unless you are getting tickets from someone you know. You don't have the same consumer protection with these methods that you have with a credit card. Be a fraud fighter. If you can spot a scam, you can stop a scam.
Unfortunately, North Carolina has been hit hard recently by bad weather, and we're in the middle of a hurricane season that many experts predict will be a busy one. So, let's learn about disaster relief scams. Here's AARP North Carolina's Rebecca Chaplin.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Chaplin with an important message from the AARP Fraud Watch Network. If you're like me, Hurricane Helene wreaked havoc on our homes, properties, and our mountain communities. But before you begin with any needed repairs, check with your insurer to make sure any work you're considering is covered, and if you need to work with a preferred contractor or auto mechanic. Make sure you're working with genuine insurance agents. After some disasters, insurance companies will work with the State Department of Insurance to set up an insurance village with companies who have policyholders in the area. Since disaster sites can be chaotic, get the ID of the insurance agent and verify their identity with the insurance company. You can also check their license with the North Carolina Department of Insurance. The same is true of insurance adjusters. You can contact the Department of Insurance toll-free at 855-408-1212. Be a fraud fighter. If you can spot a scam, you can stop a scam.
A lot of people, young and old, find seasonal employment this time of year, but that can come with some risks as well. These so-called hot summer jobs can have you sweating. But how do you know if an opportunity is a scam? Let's listen to Connie Bonebrake to learn more.
Hi, I'm Connie Bonebrake, an AARP Fraud Watch volunteer. Many Americans are on the hunt for the perfect remote job or side hustle, and criminal scammers are ready to exploit their ambitions. With work-from-home jobs increasing in popularity and employment scams on the rise, now is a great time to review the warning signs of a shady job posting. First, beware of any job that offers a large income with little to no training or experience. Likewise, avoid any position that requires you to pay in advance for certifications, training, or equipment. Business offers guaranteed to pay off quickly or double your investment are also highly suspicious. Make sure to check that job sites specializing in remote work screen the openings and companies listed. And don't assume a position is genuine just because it was posted on a legitimate job board. Furthermore, it's important to be cautious of online testimonials. Work-at-home sites are full of fake personal stories of people claiming to make thousands of dollars a month because they took advantage of this amazing opportunity. Be a fraud fighter. If you can spot a scam, you can stop a scam.
So hopefully you now know more about some of the seasonal scams that criminals are using to try to steal your money. But another big threat is identity theft. So what can you do to stop this from happening to you? And what should you do if someone does steal your identity? Here's Sandy Pace.
Hi, I'm Sandy Pace, and I'm part of the AARP Fraud Watch Network, and today I'm here to talk to you about identity fraud. Cases are on the rise, and there are a number of easy things we can do to protect ourselves. Online, we should all be using strong and unique passwords, keeping our devices, operating systems current, and monitoring our credit reports. Offline, it's always a good idea to shred your sensitive documents. Criminals will go dumpster diving to find valuable, sensitive personal information. Shredding can still be an important step in preventing identity fraud. If you shred papers yourself, use a micro-cut shredder for enhanced security. Otherwise, look for businesses that offer shredding services, sometimes for a fee, or keep an eye out for free shredding events, often offered by nonprofits of local government agencies. One final protection against identity theft is to place a fraud alert or credit freeze on your credit reports. You can learn how at annualcreditreport.com. Remember, be a fraud fighter. If you can spot a scam, you can stop a scam.
Whether it's someone stealing your money or your name, the sad truth is criminals often try to steal from people who have already been victims of fraud. To help avoid this, there are a few simple things we can do and we can be on the lookout for. Suzanne LaFollette Black has the details on this.
Hi, I'm Suzanne LaFollette Black, and I'm an AARP Fraud Watch volunteer, and I have a very important message for you today. All too often, victims of fraud are deceived by the same criminals running the same scams. If someone you love is experiencing this, gently ask thoughtful questions that may be prompting them to reflect on the situation, and also helping them recognize inconsistencies and come to their own conclusions that it may be a scam. It is also important to try to understand underlying issues like unmet emotional or financial needs and develop a plan to address them. Be sure to have regular discussions about scams with family and friends. When you read or hear about new scams, talk about it. Avoid blaming the victim. Criminals are skilled manipulators who exploit our emotions. Victims need support, understanding, and reassurance from their loved ones. Be a fraud fighter. If you can spot a scam, you can stop a scam.
There's a lot to think about when it comes to avoiding summertime scams. So besides joining the free Fraud Watch Network and subscribing to this video series on YouTube, what more can we do?
Steve, first and foremost, it's always important to talk about frauds and scams. There is no profile of a victim. We are all prone to these crimes, regardless of age and education. That's important to understand. It's also critical for people to report suspicious activity. There is no shame in falling for a scam. It may feel that way, but law enforcement needs to know about them in order to spot trends, patterns, and to follow up with enforcement action. Also, through a unique partnership with United Way, you can dial 211 and get further assistance in fraud reporting information. And finally, there's the AARP Fraud Watch Helpline at 877-908-3380, where you can get free help from trained fraud specialists and volunteers.
I'd like to say a special thank you to Attorney General Jeff Jackson, Secretary of State Elaine Marshall, and all of our volunteer fraud fighters for helping get this information out today. You can stay informed by signing up for Fraud Watchdog alerts at aarp.org/fraud. And if you have questions or if you'd like to set up a local group presentation about fraud, email us at ncaarp@aarp.org.
Thanks for watching this program today. Make the most out of the summer season and remember to stay vigilant. As we like to say, if you can spot a scam, you can stop a scam.